do I look? Like shit? Thank you, I know. I answer my own questions.
We're on the air.
I don't need anyone. I don't need.
We're we're on the air, Vlad. Sorry.
It's like when Shaq was cussing live on air, and he said he didn't give a F about it. But anyways, all right, I'm good.
All right, welcome to the show. We're back. This is a wrestling podcast, Quantum FLux, baby. And I've had a long week, man. I'm tired, honestly. I worked a lot, but we still got to talk about this amazing AEW episode we had of Dynamite last night. Kahan. This is playing the role of Jim Cornette. Tonight will be Vlad.
Yes, I am Vlad. I am gonna play the wrestling expert on this podcast.
And the AEW hater.
Well, I try to be fair. Look, I try to keep it consistent with my. And if it seems like hate, well, too bad. It just is what it is.
I forgot to cut us in, but anyways, listen. So I thought this was an interesting episode because I saw it with my brother last night. As you know, Keon. And,
that's right.
It actually kind of kept our interest, which is funky, because usually we just watch MJF segments and kind of just, he wants to forward through the rest of it as fast as possible. But, actually okay, look, it was an interesting show. It's debatable whether it was a good show, so we got to discuss this in detail as scholarly wrestling experts today. So I took a hell of a lot of notes. I watched it twice, really. I watched it with Keon. I was kind of just watching it, and then today again, I watched it again in more in depth. And I kind of had a
poor soul.
I know. I kind of had a different feeling about it both times. But yeah, let's go through it. So the theme of the show, I think I'm gonna say, is angles, because we had been saying that there were no angles, but I think basically everything on this show was tied to some kind of angle. So let's see if it was well done or not. So we're gonna start with Pillars coming into the ring. Jungle Boy, right? He has an entrance, the music and everything, and he's interrupted 2 words in, which is a common staple in AEW, right? Sami comes in again. Sami starts with 2 words, and then Darby comes in. So okay, we got them all in the ring.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So Darby gets to speak first, even though he was the last guy to come in. The other guys are they're just gonna let him speak. So he's gonna go on a long diatribe, and you want to break it down? What he said, like exactly? Let's see. He says Sami, he likes Sami most out of the Pillars. He says, but he says he's least qualified to fight for the title. Which is kind of true, I guess, based on recent fights. So I
mean, as far as the qualification part.
Yeah, I mean, Sami he had been
how they're telling it. Yeah.
He had been 3-time TNT champion, so it's not like he hasn't done anything as a single, just not recently, right? You see, so they have a bagging contest, right? So Darby starts out by bagging on Sami. He says Sami's a follower. For the Jericho appreciators, and that, he and Sting are equals, and he thinks Sami should try to do this on his own. And then he turns his attention to Jungle Boy, and he says Jungle Boy worked the least hardest to get where he is because he's friends with the Young Bucks. And that earned a ooh.
I mean, that's what he said.
From the crowd. Kind of a little bit of a shoot. He said he was pissed off because he was still living in his car, and Jungle Boy got signed just because he had connections. But in the end, he says he doesn't feel intimidated by Jungle Boy at all, basically. So
that's right. That's what he said.
Jungle Boy then grabs the mic, or he has his own mic or whatever, and then so he starts going at it, and he starts. Talking about how all the kids who paint their face in the audience, they don't know who Darby really is, right? He says he's unfriendly, unsociable, and rude.
Yes. I'm pretty sure that's probably true. I mean, but look at him.
But I'm listening to this like, come on, man. What in what generation of wrestling do these guys go like you saying you're unsociable and rude? You're rude to me. So lame. Okay.
Well, that's true. Well, when you put it like that, that's right.
Well, that's exactly what these guys are doing, man. I mean,
that's right.
And they're letting each other speak. That's the weird part of it.
That's right.
Because in what world when some guy starts insulting you, you just like let him go for 20 minutes, on and on, and like eventually you're like, hey man, shut the hell up. Like what? I'm not just gonna sit here and listen to this. But
well, I think they're trying to let these three guys speak because they haven't really been given. I mean, they haven't been given. I don't think they were properly trained to do so. They haven't been eager to do so, and I think that if they want to work with MJF or be part of this angle, I think it's necessary, or at least for it to make some sense that, for them to be able to cut pretty good promos. And I think for the most part they all did as best they could, and some of it was actually not bad. And we'll get to who I think really should face MJF, but. As far as what all three guys did, they did the best they could. And I thought it was all right. I thought the segment, yes, it had some funnies, and you could argue who was right and who was wrong, and who actually had a valid point, and who didn't have a valid point, and who was cringy and who wasn't cringy. But at the end of the day, it's still better than anything they could have hoped for a segment as far as with all these pillars, because they're really high on this pillar stuff. They want to kind of finally push these three guys. They're already pushing MJF, obviously he's the world champion, so it's the other three guys.
Yeah, I don't mind them getting promo time and mic time. I just think it just sounds a little scripted and a little a little weird. It just sounds a little weird. That's all.
Well, yeah, because they're probably still not really that comfortable with it. I mean, I don't think they've been, like I said, given that much opportunity to do so. To be honest, I mean, whether by choice or just by not wanting to, or I mean, not, or maybe just like a booking decision, like, hey, these are not where they're strong at. Let's just have them talk less. But maybe now, some of them are starting to feel a little bit more comfortable, or whatever the reason may be that they're actually talking more.
Well, all right, I'll roll through the promo real quick just because we're in the middle of it. So Darby, so what Jungle Boy bags on Darby about is that he said he's a failed skateboarder, and that he didn't even want to be a wrestler at first. So he says he can't find the words to describe Sami. He respects him for, what he puts his body through in the ring, but that he's a scumbag POS. That's basically what he says. Okay. So
yeah, that wasn't very good.
Yeah, this is the evolution of Jungle Boy into Jungle Man. So the continuation of it. So then Sami gets the mic. He says that he and Darby haven't been getting the opportunities like Jungle Boy, so they're both piling on Jungle Boy. That they didn't even get on the last pay-per-view. And he says Darby inspired him to win the TNT title, but he wanted to be better than him. Okay. Says he's going to be the next champion. Okay. Kind of a lame line. Okay, but okay. Jungle Boy says he's going to do it for all the people who support him, unlike the other two who are being selfish and only want to do it for themselves. Okay. I don't know. Business picks up when MJF's music hits, and this is the moment we've all been waiting for, because we were curious how this is supposed to turn out. Who's going to get the match? Is it going to be a four-way? And MJF comes out and makes the announcement that there's going to be a tournament. Darby gets a bye. He's in the last round already, which makes sense, I thought, because he's probably the most qualified. And then Sami and Jungle Boy will have a match to face Darby. Okay. Okay. I think the booking of the matches itself, I can roll with this idea. So far,
yep,
I'm with it. Okay. But it's
with it. I agree.
It's gonna come back, so let's put this on hold and let's go to the rest of this shit until it comes. Because it gets interesting. I want to know your opinion about it, but we're gonna go to the second segment of the show, which was Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker, who my brother thought Jamie Hayter was related to Jake Hager. He goes,
he's never seen Jamie Hayter before.
He goes, is he related to that?
Usually he just forwards right through all the women's segments, right? He doesn't even bother to know their names or what they look like. Just like, hey, forward the women, forward.
Yeah. Funny, I had never made that connection, but no, we don't forward the women. We like looking at women, man. So we watch.
No, I get it, but like, you know, you're not gonna watch a whole women's match.
Well, we did watch this one. You know, this was this was kind of a serious match. It was Ruby and Toni Storm against Hayter and Baker, with Saraya on the sidelines, and they put on a serious match. I mean, this had an angle. This has been brewing for weeks, and this is like pay-per-view quality names in a tag team match, and they actually had a match that ended with a real ending, despite interference from Saraya. Ruby Soho taps to Britt Baker's submission move. So, clean victory, and they had a decent match, I guess.
I mean, I'm not going to sit to talk too much about it. I don't care for this angle. I don't care for this, but I'll just say that Britt Baker got a huge pop. It's her hometown, obviously. So in Pittsburgh, she always gets mad love in Pittsburgh. I just think they're wasting these people's time and their talents, and they should be. I mean, you ask me what should they be doing? I don't know. I can't book wrestling, but this is really not a good feud. It is an angle technically. It's just not very good. It's not very. I mean, it's not something I'm interested in, and I feel bad because I mean Saraya she's been she came back, but I don't think she really can wrestle because she hasn't been wrestling in the ring in a while. She's usually now just in the, just comes out with them and she does whatever. But this is, I mean, it's not really something that's you can get excited about as an AEW fan. I don't think it's not really going anywhere. Britt Baker was super over like a year ago. She could have been doing some stuff with Jamie Hayter as far as like a feud. Instead, she's in this weird tag thing. I don't even know. I think their main thing should be Hayter versus Baker, and that should be their feud with the women. And everything else should be secondary because that's what it is. Everything that they're doing now is just a waste of time. It's a waste of time, in my opinion. That's the way I look at it. It's a waste of time. If somebody sees it differently, fine. If this offends you, sorry, but that's just the way it goes. In my opinion, and only in my opinion, they're wasting the women's. And the women's division is bad enough as it is. Why not just put your two best women wrestlers and the feud together and just call it a day?
Well, once again, like the last segment, we got to put this topic on hold because it does come back in an interesting way later on, but we'll discuss that later on to see if that changes anything about it. But let's move along. We've got to get through this quickly. I know it's late at night, man. We got to go to bed. We got Wardlow in the back with Renee, and he's going to get Arn Anderson to be his manager tonight, which gives Double A something to do, so he doesn't go to the retirement house or something. But okay, I mean, I don't know, I'm not too excited for Double A, but it is what it is.
Well, actually, I was a little bit. I thought he cut a pretty good promo in the back, and this is the first time I was like, you know what, I don't know how the pairing is going to do, but I kind of like it. I think Wardlow needs someone to talk for him. Can't really talk for himself. He tried it out. It's not very good. And Arn Anderson is one of the great wrestling minds and great talkers in the history of the business. But I don't know. I mean, I can't say 100% it's going to work, but it's better than just having Wardlow speak for himself and be part of dumb stuff that he was part of the previous. I don't know. I'm thinking it could be something. Hopefully this is like an actual thing and it was just a one night type of thing. I think Arn Anderson should manage him. I think it could be could talk for him because he needs someone to help him out here. Arn Anderson could help out a guy like Wardlow for sure. I mean, nobody has more wrestling knowledge in their brain than Arn Anderson.
Yeah, okay. I don't. Just from listening to him last night, though, he sounded like he was falling asleep. You know, he just does his drawl promo like this. If you think you, I'm like, oh. I don't know. Okay.
I don't know. I thought he did pretty good. I mean, he's an old man.
If he,
I mean,
so,
he's not 25 anymore. He's not 35. He's not even 45.
Okay.
He's probably in his 70s at this point.
I don't know.
He's not.
I thought Tully showed some more fire when he was there. Arn Anderson kind of just talks with the. Doesn't show any type of enthusiasm for it, but okay, that's his thing. That's his thing.
I'll agree to disagree.
His thing.
Well, he's always been that way, though.
Okay, I guess. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But
let's see what happens there.
Yeah, they had him later on in the match. We'll cover that.
That's right.
Okay, so the Elite come in. Let's talk about this real quick before we take a break. There's a. Actually, let's take a break first. We'll reset the memory card. It's because this was kind of a long segment. We might get mad at it. So let's hold on. All right, we'll be right back.
That's good.
All right, we're back. So the Elite, they're gonna come in and cut a promo. Kenny Omega is gonna be their man to take center stage. Cuts a serious promo. You know, talks about the attacks from the Blackpool Combat Club and how they want revenge and all that. You know, not the best, but, you know, at least they're trying to sell this angle in a semi-serious way, I guess. Danielson shows up on the big screen, but it's a distraction because the Blackpool Combat Club attacked them from behind, but it didn't even work. So, right, he distracted them.
Right. Right.
So they didn't really.
Well, yeah, it ended up being a brawl between those 6 guys.
Yeah.
For the majority, right?
They didn't even really get an advantage from that tactic. Okay, so it becomes a huge brawl outside, and the first time they really go at it like crazy, and but eventually the Blackpool Combat Club do take control 3-on-3 without Danielson. He's just in the back. Doesn't really need to help them, I guess. So
doesn't do much for the faces, I guess, which I'm assuming the lead is supposed to be the faces in this angle.
They got control of this without Danielson even being involved. So then Danielson comes in, and he's going to talk crap. He's going to call them amateurs. And Don Callis comes in with a steel chair, surveys the situation, sees he's outmatched, right? This was probably this is where I was thinking of you. I was like, okay, this is the betrayal coming or what? He runs away, leaves them alone, but it was only because he went to go grab Konosuke Takeshita, right, out of nowhere, and he pulls him. He's like, "Oh, those are the guys. Go beat them up." And Takeshita's like, oh, "Okay," and he goes and clears the ring.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little silly, but I guess there's been some, I don't know where, I mean, probably on Rampage, where Callis has been trying to recruit, I guess is the word, Takeshita to his.
Is that true?
I think so.
Man,
yes.
I missed.
I think it was on maybe on one of the Rampages.
I missed
so it's
Rampage.
Not completely out of nowhere. Yeah, it was maybe not even the last Rampage. Maybe like the one like a couple weeks back.
Okay.
But anyways, it's irregardless. It was what it was. I mean, they had a brawl. I'm not fond of either of these groups. You know, I'm not a fan of anybody there in particular, except maybe for Danielson. So it is what it is. I don't really know what to say. It was kind of funny when he came out and then he brought out the Asian guy who can't speak English, and he's just like, "Well, me help them? Oh, okay, I'll do it."
God,
why am I helping them? I don't know, but whatever. It was what it was, and I'm not. I've been negative enough about these groups and stuff like that. First, it was are we having problems?
Yeah, slight technical difficulties again.
Okay. Yes, unfortunately.
It's all right. I understand what you were saying. You've had problems with these two groups. You're not into this angle, basically. Right?
Yeah, but as far as it wasn't the worst it wasn't right, but it wasn't the worst.
All right, so he clears the ring. I mean, I personally didn't like how they did it. I guess with the Takeshita coming out, it was a little funny to me, but I guess he did have beef with them already. Like they beat his ass, I think, at one point a long time ago. I don't really remember even. I hardly remembered it. So for a second, I was like, why is Takeshita coming out? But okay, let's move along. We got Wardlow and Hobbs. Okay, so a TV title match, also connected to an angle. You see, everything here. See, I guess Tony Khan's been listening to the criticisms. Everything has a pretty major angle here, right? These guys have had beef for a while. So this is for the TNT title. It's a good card, you know. I mean,
yes, I agree. I'm not disagreeing. I mean, as far as
they're
there's
trying
a little bit more continuity to this.
They're trying here. All right, so Hobbs is coming out with QTV. It's the blonde girl that I don't even know her name, and QT.
I don't think they've ever said. Have they ever said? I mean, I just call her the hot blonde girl. I don't know what.
Basically, that's what I was gonna say. But they have a fight. They fight on the floor. They fight in the crowd. You know, they go back to the ring, whatever. So the blonde girl, the quote unquote hot blonde girl, comes in, and on the apron to distract. It works because she looks pretty damn good here. It's like Tori Wilson coming up or something, you know. But
right.
So QT gets the diamond cutter in, Hobbs spine buster, and Wardlow kicks out. So QT gets in the ring to argue with the referee, and Arn Anderson comes in, and they kept talking about how he's trying to get revenge for getting socked in the face by QT like 2 years ago or something that nobody freaking remembers. And then so he comes into the ring and he does his pistol thing with his fingers. Like he points at him with his fingers, and QT freaks out and runs away. and somehow for no reason, Penta is outside the ring and chases him back into the ring so that Arn Anderson can give him a DDT, which was surprising that he took kind of a bump with his old age, you know.
Right. He gave him a DDT, a classic DDT. Yes, parts of this thing silly, of course, because of the people involved. Penta, QT. You know, even Arn doing the gun signal thing was kind of funny, but maybe somebody might find it a little bit like, you know, whatever, cringeworthy. But because he's an old man, you know. But whatever. I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, again, maybe I'm being a little bit more positive, but all in all, this was kind of entertaining, even though maybe not done in the best way. Because but at least they're trying. I'll give them this. They're trying.
All right. So the finish was after that whole interference bit that Powerbomb Symphony and Hobbs gets beat in the middle of the ring. Flatter than piss, as Jim Cornette would say. Thanks for coming, Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah, had a great title reign, didn't he?
Yeah, and then he just gets beat clean with no out whatsoever. And
Well, I don't know what they're doing.
Wardlow goes over.
These guys.
Wardlow
They
goes
just keep
over.
changing it.
Well, yeah, Wardlow got beat by Samoa Joe, flatter than piss, and then now Hobbs gets beat flatter than piss. So you know, I guess you could say
maybe they're just gonna. This is the title that is just gonna go back and forth to a whole bunch of different people. Like this is the title that they don't mind, like 20 or 30 different people having. I guess,
but the losing clean thing is a little weird. You know, like at least make him distracted or something. Like he just lost. Like this is the guy they're pushing. Big story, big angle.
Well, we don't know who they're pushing. They don't know who they're pushing. You keep saying that's who they're pushing. Who are they? As Jim Cornette would say, who are we pushing? You know, who are we pushing? We don't know.
Yeah.
Are we pushing? Are they pushing Wardlow now? I mean, they looked like they were pushing Hobbs a couple weeks ago, but then they were also looking like they were pushing Wardlow a couple of months ago. So we don't really know what the plan is for any of these people. So let's just say right now they're pushing Wardlow, but it could change in 2 weeks. So right now it looks like Wardlow's their guy, and maybe with Arn Anderson he could be kind of interesting, but I don't know.
All right. So Christian and Luchasaurus, they want next. They come out. They're like, we want.
Basically, they come out. Yes, exactly.
They want the next.
There was
title
one more
shot.
element to this. You don't feel pretty. You don't feel like that's going to be interesting at all.
No.
Luchasaurus versus Wardlow.
I have to express my disappointment with this because I think it's a waste of Christian with Luchasaurus, man. God, Luchasaurus is not going to go anywhere. If you think he's an attraction, maybe a live attraction, just because he looks funny and he's big, or something like that.
Right.
But God, this is so sad to me. So sad. What they anyone else they could have used Christian with, But okay. Let's move along. So backstage, all right. So here's the meat of the matter. So this is an important segment that I gotta get Vlad's opinion about. The wrestling expert. So Renee's backstage with Sami Guevara, and MJF interrupts and goes into his usual bribe angle, where he's gonna try to bribe him. Supposedly, I was a little confused at first. I thought he wanted him to throw tonight's match, but I guess he wants him.
Yeah, it was confusing to throw if he makes it to the title match.
Yes,
what I gathered.
Yes, he wants Sami to win the mini tournament so that he could throw the match with MJF.
Right.
For basically,
and he's gonna pay him just say a large sum of money.
An infinite amount of money. Amount. Anything he wants.
Whatever he wrote on that check, let's say millions of dollars.
Yeah, a billion. I guess he could have wrote $1 billion.
He could have written anything. Yeah, it's only monopoly money, so who cares? Right, whatever you want. It's only Tony Khan's money, so who cares?
All right. Whatever. So this is an important segment here. This is a really important segment because it's like. This is where the angle takes off into a whole separate thing, completely different from what we've been watching. So I gotta ask you, was this a bad idea? Is this where this angle goes off the rails?
Yeah, well, it wasn't good. It didn't make sense. Why all of a sudden Sammy was talking about how he wants to be the guy and do this and do that, and the next thing you know, he's with MJF, he's hugging MJF, he's after they agreed upon the money, whatever, he hugged them, and they were all lovey-dovey, and I guess two heels. I mean, they are the two heels in this scenario. I mean, Sammy's always been a heel, and obviously MJF is the heel. But still, I don't know. It just felt off because he had just been talking all this stuff about MJF and all the other pillars. So just like, what? I mean, I don't know. I know it's supposed to be like a heel thing, but man, it felt wrong. It felt like it didn't add up, So
even Renee looks at the check and she sells it. She goes, "Wow, for that amount of money, sure, go ahead and do it." I guess. So all three of these poor guys are trying to sell this angle that I really want to know who came up with this idea. Tony Khan's idea, or whose freaking idea this was. But
I don't know. It wasn't the best. I didn't like it. It just kind of ruined it in a sense because it was going decently. I'm not gonna say it was going perfect, but then it's like it kind of takes you out of it a little bit. Like, well, why is he doing this all of a sudden, right? It's like that doesn't make sense. But anyways, yes, they tried to do the best with what they got, but at the end of the day, I didn't like this.
All right, hold on. So let me think about this just a little more. So MJF says to Sami, "Look, it's impossible for you to go through all three of us pillars because that's what he would have to do.
Right.
You have to beat Jungle Boy, Darby, and MJF." So he says, "At least this way you'll be in the main event of the pay-per-view, but you'll have to lay down for me, and you'll get all this money."
That's right.
And okay, so in my opinion here, this makes MJF look bad because there's no contract. He's just like doing it by word agreement. Like, here's the check, and okay, you agreed to it. So what's to make Sami go back? What's to not make him go back on his word? Right?
That's true.
So it makes,
of course, which he probably will.
Yeah, if it all goes through and he does end up being the guy, he's not gonna lay.
Right.
He's not gonna lay down for MJF. So that's stupid. It makes MJF look stupid. It kind of buries him. And But the thing is, so this is an angle though. Like everyone was like, "There's no angles in AEW. They just have matches."
Mm-hmm.
So they came up with something. They came up with an angle. This is an angle, but it's like a bad angle, right? That's the.
Well, yeah. At least they're moving in the right direction though. They're moving towards angles, but they just don't know how to do them yet. So they're bad. But you're right about that. But at least it's something. You're not gonna hear me defend it. You're absolutely right with what you said. It makes MJF look bad. Kind of makes Sammy look stupid too. To be honest, like what the hell was he talking about all these weeks? And if he was just gonna do that. So yeah,
well,
this doesn't do it.
He's playing MJF though. That's the thing. He's playing him. He's going on.
Oh yeah. I guess if that's what it is, then yes. But I mean, but the only way it's going to make sense is if he's going to be the challenger at the pay-per-view. But that shouldn't happen, you know. So again, so that doesn't make complete sense. Like I don't think that's what they should be going for. Like that shouldn't be the main event of their pay-per-view though. So.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see on that. But listen, Vlad.
But yeah, we'll see next week. Yeah.
Blank check. Yeah. Blank check. Listen, Vlad. The last time I wrote a blank check, boy, I tell you, the next morning when I came to out of that blackout, more than the fact that I had lost all my money to some bimbo, I was suffering from a horrible hangover headache. Have you ever drank too much, Vlad, and regretted it the next morning? Well, not to worry. Help is available.
Oh.
You need to run to your local store and buy electrolyte. Electrolyte. This stuff works, I tell you. No matter if you down 4 different types of liquor, Jägermeister, whiskey, rum, beer, wine, say you drank everything. I guarantee you, after 1 or 2 big gulps of this drink, you will be feeling better already. This is a personal guarantee, I'm telling you. Don't suffer through a hangover. Get electrolyte. And maybe a little bit of weed. But, but really though, this has all the essentials that your body kicked out of your system. Well, you know, your body was trying to kick out all that alcohol. So throw in a multivitamin and a nap and you'll be as good as new. You'll go out drinking again, same night. Promise. Electrolyte. Get it at your local convenience stores. Alright, let's take a break, Vlad. We'll be right back after this. Alright, we're back. I got Vlad here. Vlad, the wrestling expert. This is Quantum FLux Wrestling Edition, the wrestling podcast. Yeah, I'm considering making another podcast too, Vlad, where we talk. Well, it doesn't have to be us, but where I talk about other things other than wrestling. But I haven't.
Wait, there's stuff in this world other than wrestling. What are you talking about? Wrestling is life. Life is wrestling. Haven't you realized that by now?
Man, we are really in quite a small circle though, talking about wrestling. Like, you know, I can't like really in good conscience tell my friends to listen to this podcast. Nobody's watching AEW. I mean, you watch a lot of things, Vlad. Is AEW the worst thing you watch? Like, really? You like?
Yes. 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 It's
like,
the worst thing
like you've been watching
It's not even a question.
You've been watching The Mandalorian, Star Trek.
Yeah.
Basketball.
Yeah, whatever show I watch, like whatever
NBA.
shows I watch, any show that I watch, anything is better than AEW, for sure. That's not even a question.
Yeah, well, you know what? I still have fun, even if it sucks, just talking about it and talking shit, I guess, if we have to. But, you know...
Hey, if it's called for, you gotta call it like you see it.
I really like it when it's good, though. When wrestling is so good, man, it hits hard. There's certain moments where I'm just like, I smile like a motherfucker, you know?
It can be very good.
It can be good.
Be very good.
Like, one of my favorite memories in AEW was Brody Lee, God rest his soul. You know, when they beat down Cody after they won the TNT title. Yeah. He beat him clean. Right. Was gonna beat him down, and then Brandy came in to save Cody, and Anna Jay out of nowhere was like the one to because they didn't want to hit a girl, so they sent Anna Jay to do it, and then Brody Lee was like laughing. I don't know, I just love that heel stuff, man. That was one of the only moments in AEW where I felt like, man, this is wrestling. This is wrestling. But
yeah.
Okay, so back to today, which wasn't as good as that to me, but okay, let's keep going with our review. We're doing what day was it? April 18th. Or no, April 19th. April 19th. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I didn't even mention that at the beginning, but I'll make a note of it on the screen somehow. So we're back to, this is Komander versus Jay White from the Bullet Club Gold version with Juice Robinson. So, you know Robert, right? Our friend Robert. He was mad that you called it Bullet Club Elite because apparently there was a Bullet Club Elite at some point. So he was mad. He was throwing things at the screen. He was.
That's what he said.
No, I'm exaggerating,
but he was mad. He was mad.
Yeah, I mean he was mad at our ignorance about it. I guess that.
Because who cares? Bullet Club. Are you kidding me right now?
He cares.
Go to Japan. Give the crap. Go watch the Japanese wrestle then. If you care about the Bullet Club, you're trying to build an audience here in America. What are we doing here? Are we trying to build an audience, or are we trying to put a group together that nobody cares about in the States?
We're trying to drive.
Maybe somebody still cares about it in Japan. We're trying to get people to watch this show or not, because this is the type of stuff that is going to lose audiences and makes it only for the diehards. For the. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, look.
That's a hot take.
All. I mean,
that's a hot take.
Well, look. I don't care. Look, Jay White, whatever. But I mean, this is where I lost interest in the show. There was I didn't even write enough notes in the next couple segments because they didn't even deserve it. I mean, Jay White versus Komander. Come on. Hey, you'd expect us to watch this? That's a Rampage match. If you want to put that on Rampage, fine. But
yeah, this was the weakest match of the night. But it does get Jay White on the show. He's the new signing. He's in shape. He's ripped. He's probably spends a lot of time in the gym. This guy, so he wants to show off them abs. But anyways, Sean Spears is in the crowd. He's back. God help us, Sean Spears. So he's he's giving ratings out. So every time they do a move, like he puts up like a 6 or a 9 or something. And they had some whatever high spots. There was a high spot fest, a little bit of one. Not nothing.
Oh sure, Komander.
Yeah,
that's all that guy does is he goes from one high spot to the next.
Yeah. So, but Jay White wins, and afterwards they go into the crowd and pull Sean Spears out because he was very disrespectful to them, and they're gonna whoop him. And he's saved by Ricky Starks, who comes in and chases off the Bullet Club. So,
he kind of ran into the ring kind of funny. I don't know what happened. Like he was kind of hurt, or it was kind of a weird run. I'm like either like he was taking a shit before he came out, or
what? I did not notice that, but okay.
You're gonna have to go back and look at that. But it was kind of funny looking to me. And then, anyways, he speared him, and that was kind of like he cleared house. Juice Robinson, he has a funny face. I won't say positives or negatives about Juice Robinson. I'll just say he has a funny face, and I'll leave it at that. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know. But Juice Robinson does look kind of like a wrestler.
Yeah, but I'm not. Again, I'm with you. I'm kind of not into just pulling the Bullet Club from Japan and sticking it on this show. Like I think it's kind of.
Because nobody outside of the real diehards, and even some of the AEW fans that have been watching, don't know who they might know the Bullet Club, kind of. I mean, just by the name, but they don't know the history, nor do they care enough about it. I mean, only the really few people that really watch Japanese wrestling. Maybe some Ring of Honor mixed in when maybe some of them were in Ring of Honor, but come on.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not gonna leave. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I'm down for having them on the show, but make them do something cool here. Make us think they're interesting, not just from some mysterious history that we've never seen. But that's just us. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving along. Okay, so here's another. I don't want to say bad segment, but let me go through it. This is
probably because before you continue, I just wrote after the Jay White Komander thing. I said some other stuff happened. I'm not even gonna note. So whatever it was, I don't even remember it because I didn't even write it down.
Okay,
But yeah, tell me what happened.
I'll describe it to you. So FTR are with Renee.
Yeah.
And Renee shows them a video. She goes, "Look, this happened earlier today." So I guess Mark Briscoe is getting whooped by what looked like the varsity athletes, I think. And so then FTR are like, "Oh my God, this happened!" So they run straight to the trainer's room, which is like 5 steps away.
Yeah.
And they run in there. They're like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And yeah, Mark Briscoe's cool and funny, but this was this looked goofy, amateur, right?
Yeah.
It looked like it was.
Yeah, it was pretty goofy.
Slapped together. It was rushed.
Yeah, it was weird. They, I guess, to kind of put the FTR with Jared and
Jay Lethal
and that group.
Yeah.
Jay Lethal. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Jared,
Jay
good.
Lethal's also in that group.
They're gonna team up on Rampage. FTR and Lethal and Double J. So.
Well, that's what you should do with your tag champions. Have them team up and fight on Rampage. Why not? What's the worst that could happen?
Oh God, these guys, they'll just do whatever they're told, I guess. God, they don't have any guts to argue with anybody for a freaking angle. But okay, this looked horrible. This was kind of sad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Let's move on. This is the much anticipated Y2J Chris Jericho Adam Cole face-off, which is stemming from Adam Cole being a glory hound, and Jericho took offense to this the other day when the confetti came raining down after his victory over Daniel Garcia. So Adam Cole had a long diatribe, one of these long prepared speeches about how he looked up to Chris Jericho and all that, and when he was growing up. And Chris Jericho says basically the opposite, that he has no respect for Adam Cole and calls him an arrogant SOB. Cole calls Jericho a jagoff. I guess that's a Pittsburgh thing. All the Pittsburgh fans were going crazy. They popped for that. Jericho said he is not a jagoff, which is debatable. But they talk some more. Honestly, I didn't write down every little thing they said, but it ended up with Jericho pushing Adam Cole, and it turns into Adam Cole beating him down, even though he was wearing that spiky jacket. For a second, I was like, how are they going to fight with that spiky jacket? But it was pretty easy. He just beat him up. I always thought it would be hard to fight someone who was wearing one of those spiky jackets, right? Like, that would be like an unfair advantage. But he just...
I've rarely seen a lot of people wear spiky jackets. I don't know.
I've honestly never seen someone fight with one, but yeah, he just got beat down. He got stomped into the corner.
Yeah.
And Daniel Garcia comes in to help him, turns the tide.
Yeah.
So they got Adam Cole down, and then this is where it gets slightly interesting, because Britt Baker comes out to help her man, right? To save her man. As one woman, she comes up against two men and slaps Chris Jericho, right? And little did we know, waiting in the wings are the Outcasts, the girls who just got beat clean earlier, and they come out and they beat down Britt Baker, which I guess gets some of their heat back after losing clean as hell earlier in the night, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they handcuff Adam Cole to the ring, and he has to watch as his girlfriend, his wife or whatever, his girlfriend, right, gets beat down with a kendo stick by Saraya.
Girlfriend, yeah.
And Adam Cole's begging for them to stop, and so this is an interesting classical wrestling thing, right? I kind of like that they brought the girls in on one of the men's angles. I like when they kind of can mix that up. So I wasn't a fan of the little debate they had, or the little bagging contest. I don't believe Chris Jericho is acting. I don't believe his acting.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the only thing I wrote here is the acting when I guess they were beating up Britt Baker, caning her with the kendo stick and whatnot. It was pretty bad, and then Adam Cole with the
stop. Don't do this.
It wasn't very well acted. It wasn't really believable. That it was kind of felt a little but at least it's kind of wrestling. It is a wrestling angle, and it's better than what they've been doing. So, yes, did it have some faults, and I did write, why didn't Jamie Hayter come out to at least try to help Britt? But I mean, she comes out for Rio, but she won't come out for Britt Baker. but okay, but that's kind of it is what. Okay, I mean, you kind of look past it and you just say that's what they did. It was a wrestling angle, and it wasn't that bad, even though the acting was a little bit like cringe when Britt Baker and Adam Cole, the hell handcuff deal was going on.
Yeah, they see, this kept our interest. You see, I was watching with my brother, and all these angles kept our interest. At least their angles. They were probably not done super well. Like it's not
right.
It's not Bret Hart and Owen Hart here, but at least it's something.
Yeah.
So that
I agree. That's my point. At least it's something.
At least
that's
something.
Exactly it.
So it's gonna be interesting, our final grades, but before I take one last little break, there was a pre-tape. Jeff Hardy's back, and he looks good, looks healthy, and they're gonna say they're gonna cut a promo on Rampage. That's all. It wasn't really much, but that was a little quick segment they had. We could do one more before we take a break. It was JAS 2.0 with Jake Hager, Jamie Hayter's cousin, and they're gonna have a match against the Acclaimed and Mr. Ass, Billy Gunn. So interesting that Mr. Ass is having a match here, right? Since we started watching wrestling, he's been wrestling. Like, we started in 1997, right?
Yeah, I mean, I probably was watching before that.
Okay.
So yeah, I remember him with the smoking guns and all that stuff when he was teaming up with. He's been in the wrestling. I mean, he looks bigger than he does then. So say what you will about that. I'll let let people think what they want about that. But I mean, obviously I did not care about this match whatsoever. This is something I forwarded because this was a silly match and this was a silly feud. But as far as just Billy Gunn.
Well, hold on. Let me ask
Mr. Ass.
Let me ask you, because I counted 6 guys who were wrestling at that point who are still wrestling right now. Can you
mean back like in the 90s?
In 97, yeah, like who were like right when we started watching when we were growing up. 6 guys. Can you name the 6 guys? There's Billy Gunn, right? And then we got.
I don't know if I could.
We got Sting.
Oh well, yeah.
We got Sting. Sure. He's not retired. He's an active wrestler. We got Double J.
Yeah.
Double J.
For sure, yeah.
We got Jericho.
Yeah.
Right from the last segment. He's still going.
Yep.
And then
going strong.
You can't do the last one.
It's not coming to me.
The Hardys. The Hardy Boys.
Oh well, yeah. That's true. Though I don't know if they were there in '97, but yeah, they were there in the '90s or something. But yeah,
they might have been on like Sunday Night Heat or something. But,
yeah, I think they got big a little bit after that, like maybe 99, 98, 90, late 98, 99, maybe.
Okay, so so you thought it was a bad match, bad angle, but again, it had an angle, right? They were trying to recruit the Acclaimed.
But this is silly. This is
still it's an angle. It's not a random match.
I know. But this is not. Yeah, but I mean, the Acclaimed. What are they? I mean, okay, I guess they said, well, if their Acclaimed can't be champions, they might as well be part of silly, dumb stuff, right? Okay, well. This is not going to do anything for anybody. This is what we would call filler. And if we were watching like a show, and this is something is going on that's not a show that we liked, and then this is what they're showing us, we'd just say, oh man, this is filler. So this is filler. Yeah,
but okay. Again, I'm just going along with my theme of the night that everything here kind of had an angle. But okay.
Okay.
So the Acclaimed win clean.
Yeah.
All right, so before we do the main event, let me cut the tape, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. All right, so we got the main event here. It's Sami Guevara with Conti. Although she really just accompanied him to the ring walk entrance, she didn't really stick around.
Yeah, she didn't stay. Yeah.
And it's Jungle Boy Jack Perry now. straight up, they could call him Jack Perry. They're trying to slowly move away from Jungle Boy meat, but he needs a really complete overhaul for his gimmick, really, I think. But so this match is nothing too crazy. They had some light high spots, nothing like wild as hell. They fought into the crowd, second time tonight, which would be a Cornette, trope that they shouldn't do that twice in one night. They did it with Hobbs and Wardlow, but okay. MJF is watching on the monitor in the back, and at the end of the match, we have the spot of the night. The craziest spot of the night was Sami Guevara drop kicking Jungle Boy off the top of the rope onto a table that was set up on the outside of the ring. He took a pretty good looking bump, smacked his head on the table, and he was about to get counted out, but it looked like he was going to get back in the ring while Sami Guevara then distracts the referee, and MJF nails Jungle Boy with the diamond ring, and he does eventually get counted out. Sami Guevara wins, and MJF and Sami ham it up in the ring at the end of the night like they're best friends. So
right.
This was an interesting show, as I said when we started, but was it a good show, and is this angle too mashed now? Is this angle just horrible? And give us your thoughts, Vlad. Give us your thoughts.
I'm a little torn, obviously, because I think anything with MJF is pretty solid. This isn't that great, but it's not the worst, and it could be a lot worse when AEW within AEW and the stuff they do. So I like certain things about this. Obviously MJF cheating to make sure that Jungle Boy is eliminated is fine. I don't have a problem with that. I kind of have a problem with the Sami part of it. The match was whatever. I mean, they just did a whole bunch of different things, a whole bunch of spots. People were getting, they were taking crazy moves, kicking out of everything, reversed Hurricanranas. I'm not even talking about the match that much. It was what it was, and the ending was what it was, and I think it was the right ending in the sense because Jungle Boy shouldn't be fighting for it, Anyways, but overall the show was a lot better. I agree. I agree with what you said. The show itself was better. I enjoyed it more than the previous other Dynamites, especially the last couple months worth. But this angle is not that bad. Like, I don't hate it. I don't completely love it. There's issues, obviously, but it's not the worst. It's not the worst. So, and the show was better. The show was a lot better.
All right. Well, before I ask you one last question, what do you give the show then? You got a grade? You got a final grade here?
Yeah. I'll give it a B minus.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say too. I was kind of debating between C plus and B minus, but I think I gotta give them some credit for the effort at least.
Yeah, they made an effort, and that's why I'll give it up to a B minus. They made an effort. Was everything great? No. Did it all work like they envisioned, or maybe like they wanted, or how they thought it was going to work? Probably not. But at least they're trying. This was an episode where they tried. The other episodes, they don't even try. They just put some random stuff out there and expect us to just love everything they put out there. The other thing I just wanted to mention is that I think Darby definitely should be the guy that is who MJF fights at the pay-per-view. That to me is like a no-brainer. I mean, that's what it should happen. That's where the feud is, and that's where I don't know about what money they could draw, but as far as that goes, but at least it's the most interesting and the most where there could be some back and forth, and it would make actual sense. And in this case, if it goes any other way at this point, I don't even know what they're doing then.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. You actually stole the question right
I'm
out
sorry.
of my mouth.
Okay.
No. I mean, that's okay. But yeah, I was going to say if they do end up going through with Sami Guevara versus MJF, is that fucked up? Is that horrible or what?
Yes. That's not right now. That would not be a pay-per-view match or a main event pay-per-view match for the world title. Sami's not there yet. Darby is closer to it. Darby's a more captivating character. They both, yes, they both do a lot of dumb stuff in the ring as far as taking too many chances. But Darby, at least, I find a little bit more believable, even when he does some of the dumb stuff. So I think if you're ever going to have a feud with Darby, and I know they had a previous one, a couple of years back where they had that great match. I think they could have another great match. I mean, MJF could have a great match with Sami too, but I think it'd make more sense logically and story-wise, and just better TV if it's with Darby.
Yeah, so you're saying somehow Darby's gonna overcome the cheating in the next match and win the match.
Yes. Well, hopefully. I mean, I can't predict. Tony Khan could wake up one that day and he could be he hasn't slept all the day before, and he could just come up and just change everything that he had in his head, or whatever, and just no, Sammy's gonna win or something. I don't know, but yes, logically that would be the thing that makes the most sense. Darby, MJF, pay-per-view, two of the more brighter pillars in the sense of you could do something with, these are two people, the two that I think could have success in other places, not just WWE, but let's say WWE, specifically MJF, obviously, but I think Darby, could also do something in WWE as well. I don't know about the other two, So yes, that's why it would make more sense.
Man, well, all right. Well, I guess Jungle Boy could also interfere in this next match to get some revenge or something. Maybe that'll end up being Jungle Boy versus Sami in the pay-per-view or something like that. I don't know.
Possibly, yeah, I could see that. That would be fine. Yeah.
What about the title match itself? Do you think it's time to get Darby a championship, or what? Think it's time to end MJF's reign?
No, I do not. I do not think so. No, I mean, I think MJF, if Punk is coming back, which is some of the rumors that I've been hearing is a possibility, he needs to work with MJF for the title. That needs to still happen. That's going to be their money feud, and that needs to happen if he is coming back.
All right.
Yeah, that should happen. I think MJF should have a longer reign. I think he just doesn't have a lot of options to work with. That's the unfortunate part of it. That's why they have to bring Punk. They have to bring Punk back. They have no choice. They have no choice. He's the only one that's ever gotten them any type of money. His pay-per-views are the only ones that people buy. At least to somewhat.
And he got them a ratings bump.
He gives them ratings. He gives them star power. Everybody knows CM Punk, and people buy the pay-per-views where he's the headliner, right? It's a no-brainer. They got to bring him back. If he wants to come back, bring him back. You keep him away from the elite, and that's it. And just have him face whoever. Whoever. I don't think it's a big deal. Just have him come back and have him. I'm sure MJF would work with him, for sure. And I'm sure there's others that would as well. I'm pretty sure about that. So no, they should not give Darby the title now. I don't think the timing is right. All
right. I got you, Vlad. I feel you. I mean, if Punk isn't coming back though, I would give it to Darby. Personally, I think he deserves it.
Well, how do you define that he deserves it? What makes you say he deserves it? How does he deserve it?
He's put in good work in the ring. He's put in.
Wow.
I don't. Yeah, maybe his promos are lacking a little bit, but that's just his personality. He's over with the crowd.
Over with the crowd.
It would be a big pop, and if they could figure out some way to not let MJF lose clean, I don't think it would hurt him, and he can get it back. So maybe a short reign, a little couple weeks reign. Something like that.
I don't think the timing's right now. I don't agree. But if they want to do it, if they want to make him a champion eventually, I'm not against it. I'd say fine, but I don't think right now is the time.
I always just tell people I'm worried about Darby breaking something. So just put it on him now before he gets crippled or something, because he's.
Well, you're not lying there. I can't disagree with you there. That part is true. That's true. Any match, he could do something ridiculously stupid and just be out forever, for all we know. So you're right. That's just something to keep in mind.
Well, good show. I thought this was an interesting show. I thought it was worth reviewing. I know sometimes we're a little skeptical about whether we should even talk about Dynamite
Yeah.
because sometimes nothing happens, or
Yeah,
sometimes
but this was one of the better ones. This was one of the better ones in a long time. So I think it's right to talk about it. If they did something halfway decent, I might as well mention it.
All right then, Vlad. You been enjoying the basketball or what?
The basketball, there's been some highs and lows. It's early on, but it's been pretty good. Overall, it's been pretty interesting. I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen. There's no clear, definite team that's going to, like the championship favorite. I mean, a lot of people think Boston or whatever, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
But are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I think the games have been pretty good for the most part. I mean, there's some games that obviously Sue's I'm not really paying attention to. Like, obviously, I'm not really watching. Atlanta and Boston. I'm not watching a lot of the Eastern Conference games. I'll probably watch New York and Cleveland tomorrow because that should be a big, that's a pretty good game and a pretty good series. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's not too bad.
Hey, as long as it's entertaining to you, I guess.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's basketball. Well, kind of.
Vlad, if the audience didn't know, Vlad is also the NBA expert, formerly known as the NBA expert. Now is the wrestling expert.
That was a lifetime ago. Now it's all about wrestling, baby. Wrestling is my life. That's all I know. I have nothing but wrestling in my life. Is what I tell Keon.
All right, let's call it a night, man. I'm gonna watch The Mandalorian, and I'll let you know what I thought when I watch that. So.
Oh, or you could also watch Picard. You still haven't seen that.
Yeah, I got both of them to watch. I gotta edit this show first though, because this is more important. People gotta know.
Well, the good thing is, right? You don't work tomorrow, right? So you have some time. You could sleep in, I guess, right? Or you don't have to worry about getting up too early.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna sleep in.
That's good.
But I gotta get the show out
bro.
because the people gotta know what we thought about AEW.
Absolutely.
We are now the foremost experts in this field. Screw Cornette and Kevin Nash and Conan. They don't even want to watch it. They don't even watch it.
That's right.
They're like, I don't want to watch this, and then they do a podcast. So they don't. I don't know what what the hell do they talk about if they didn't even watch?
Yeah.
They're like
Kehan is so dedicated that he writes his notes on cigarette cartons.
I'll write it on.
Whatever you have in front of you.
I'll write it on whatever I got in front of me. Exactly. I gotta get it down. So, what are these? Marlboro's 27s. Marlboro.
So you use a cigarette carton, right?
Well, it's free paper, Like, so you don't have to spend money on paper, I guess.
Why don't you just
paper costs money?
Why don't you just put it on your phone? Put the notes on.
Well, I could write faster than I can type.
I see. That's true.
I could still write pretty fast. It's a dying art, but it's something carried over from us from our being a 90s kids in high school and stuff. So.
Yeah, that's true.
I think I bet the kids nowadays they don't even have paper, right? They just go in on their phone.
Yeah, I don't think they know what a pen is or a paper. They're like, what do I do with this
Dude,
guy?
I heard there's an app now.
Clean my ears.
I heard there's an app now that writes your fucking essay for you. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the chat, whatever that is, chat GPS.
Yeah,
they call
just
that
put in the prompt of the essay and it'll do it for you.
Not GPS, but whatever it's called. Chat. It's chat something. Yes. You just give it a subject and whatever and however you want to word it, and then they just spit something out that's supposed to be like.
This is so not fair.
Whatever.
This is so we had to actually write our essays back then.
Yeah, we actually had to think of something
to
say, something interesting to say, which was always torturous.
Yes, it was horrible. Screw these kids, man. They got it too easy. All right.
Yeah.
All right, man. Till next week.
Till next week, man.